Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome to all of you in Shri Jayendra Rank Zone. I am your friend and mentor for the subject Business and Commercial Knowledge. Today, we will start with Chapter 1, that is Business and Commercial Knowledge and Introduction. All the concepts will be covered in the coming series of lecture. This is lecture number 1. Let us try and understand what we are going to learn in this chapter. Learning outcomes. After studying this chapter, you will be able to describe the domains of business and commercial knowledge, that is BCK. We'll learn about the domains of BCK, explain the importance of business and commercial knowledge for chartered accountants, enhance the business and commercial knowledge quotient, that is BQ, distinguish between business forms and myriad of human activities, more so from employment and profession perspectives. That means we'll try to differentiate business between business, employment, and profession. Distinguish between proprietary and corporate forms of business organization, that is sole trader, HUF, Hindu Undivided Family, partnership, company form of business, etc. I believe you understood this. Sole trader, partnership, Hindu Undivided Family, joint stock companies. I believe you understood this. Let us see a quick overview of the chapter. Business and commercial knowledge. Domains of BCK. We'll learn about the domains. Then human activities, economic activities and non-economic activities. What is economic activities? Economic activities are activities that is related to production and consumption of goods and services for economic gain. Economic gain over here means for money. For money. That is economic gain. What is non-economic activities? So non-economic activities are basically activity performed gladly with an aim to providing services to others without any regard of money. We can say that for satisfaction. For satisfaction. I believe you understood this. Let us continue. So economic activities are bifurcated into business, profession, and employment. In business, we will learn about the business activities like industry, trade, and commerce, scale and size of micro, small, medium, large trade commerce, geographical scope, that is local, national, and multinationals, ownership point of view, state owned, public owned, privately owned, proprietary, corporate. The third domain of the business is, third part of the BCK is forms of business organization. We'll learn about sole proprietorship, Hindu undivided family, partnership, LLP, that is limited liability partnerships, and company form of business. I believe you understood. Let us continue. Introduction. Humans engage themselves alternately between work and life. We work to earn income, that is money. We spend and also save the income for the subsistence of the self and the family. We spend and also save the income for the sustenance of self as well as family. In the process, daily we engage in numerous transactions of purchase and transactions of sale, so numerous transactions and exchange our income for buying various goods and services. Being social and socially aware, we also live in a family life and engage in social activities, charities, and the like. In this chapter, we'll elaborate on human activities while focusing on business and the domains of business and commercial knowledge. Transaction over here means purchase transaction, purchase, sale, exchange. I believe you understood this. Let us continue. In today's world, both earning of income as well as spending has increasingly become dependent on business and commerce. To begin with, let us view business and commerce as comparing an array of activities for the production. What do we do in business and commerce? We do production of goods and services. Where the production happens in factory, that is also known as manufacturing. Distribution of goods and services, there are different channels of distribution also, direct channel and indirect channel of distribution. Exchange of goods and services, that is buying and selling. So if I talk about the channels of distribution, channels of distribution, channels of distribution. So channels are classified as direct channel and indirect channel. Direct channel and indirect channel. Direct channel of distribution. Indirect channel of distribution. Indirect channel of distribution. Direct channel means the goods directly reach from producer to consumer. Producer to consumer. This is direct channel of distribution. There is no middleman. But in case of indirect channel, producer, then we have retailer, and then we have consumer. Producer, wholesaler, retailer, and at last we have consumer. Producer, agent, wholesaler, retailer, and then we have consumer. I believe you understood. Many a times this combination is like this also: producer, wholesaler, then agent, then retailer, and at last consumer. At last consumer. This is channels of distribution. Let us continue. To begin with, let us view business and commerce as comparing as area of activities like production, distribution and exchange, buying and selling of goods and services. Now, whether we work as employees for freelancers, whether we work as employees or we work as freelancer or as entrepreneur in the society, our world of work is made the business organization. And even if we do not work for a business organization, much of our spending takes place buying various goods and services that have been produced or provided by business organizations. In all probability, most of the goods that we buy, we do not buy these straight from the producers, but indirectly from second, third, or even later intermediary. Intermediary means middlemen. Intermediary means middlemen. Middleman or reseller. Middleman or reseller. I believe you understood this. Following picture presents the two views of the same room. List the items identifiable from the picture. Imagine if the said item would have been purchased directly from the producer or some reseller. You may use the observation card whose format is given below. The picture to organize your thoughts process with pen and paper, or as a mental activity you can do so. So this is a room. Two pictures are there. You have to record the items that are there in this picture that you can see. You have to imagine that these items you have purchased from the manufacturer directly or from the reseller. Here is the observation card. Group of item or industry. Whether procured directly from the producer, the most likely source of procurement, chain up to the original producer. If any remarks, please write it. So we can see a fan, we can see table, chair, sofa over here. We can see a photo frame, some furniture, group of item or industry, furniture, fan, lights and fans. So electricals, electrical items. We can see some books lying on the table, books, etc. Whether procured directly from the producer, it may happen that the furniture should be purchased directly from the producer. Furniture, furniture, yes. Electrical item directly procured from the producer, no. Electrical items, no. Books, no. Not directly purchased from the producer. The most likely source of procurement, from where you have procured, retailer. These items from where you must have procured, retailer. Chain up to the original producer. Try to find out the original producer. So supposingly we can say that this fan belongs to Khaitan. Khaitan. So original producer is or Usha fans. I believe you understood. Anything else if you are observing? You must have observed a lot of things more. Please fill in the remarks. Please fill in the remarks. Before we move ahead, just do some notings in relation to this. Business business generally is generally understood business is generally understood as any economic activity economic activity consisting of consisting of purchase purchase sale manufacturing manufacturing processing processing marketing marketing distribution distribution trading of products trading of products and services and services. Commercial knowledge or commercial awareness or commercial awareness involves involves knowledge knowledge of knowledge of how businesses make money how businesses make money what customers what customers want what customers want and and what problems and what problems there are what problems there are in in particular areas of business particular areas of business. It is generally it is generally understood it is generally understood that to become to become successful in business to become successful in business the the three most valuable valuable attributes are a can-do attitude, a can-do attitude, B, technical skills, technical skills, and C, commercial awareness, commercial awareness, commercial awareness. I believe you understood. Let us continue. Domains, BCK domains, business and commercial knowledge domains. This also means scope of business and commercial knowledge, business and commercial knowledge, scope. First domain is activities. First domain is activities, manufacturing activities, trading activities. Trading could be domestic trading, it could be foreign trading, or commerce, aids to trade, functions that helps to trade is known as aid to trade, or auxiliaries to trade, supporting to trade, supporting to trade, or services, or services. So this is the activities. Next is scope. Next is scale. Micro enterprises, small enterprises, medium enterprises, and large enterprises. So BCK domains is not related to any particular enterprises. Micro enterprises involves small enterprises, medium enterprises, and large enterprises. For micro, small, and medium enterprises, we have an act which is known as MSMED Act 2006. Micro, small, medium enterprise Development Act. Enterprise Development Act 2006. For the development of micro, small, and medium enterprise. Next is geographical scope. The next is geographical scope, local, national, and multinational. So these enterprises, these firms, these organizations can operate locally, domestically, at national level, or at international level, multinational level. Ownership could be of any form, could state owned ownership, public sector ownership, private sector ownership like sole trader or sole proprietor, partnership, company form of business, or corporate sector, etc. Talking about the market, natural resources, equipments, commodities, capital market, labor market, product market, etc. Stakeholders, we have entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs, promoters of the business, customers, investors in the business owners, directors, shareholders, managers, employees, suppliers, law and regulators, the policy makers, supporting and facilitating organizations and society at large, all are stakeholders as per the BCK domain. All are stakeholders, all are interested parties, all are related parties over here. All have some kind of a stake in relation to this. Functions, production function, operation function, marketing, accounting and finance and taxation, human resources, etc. Focus, company, enterprise wide, a particular business line, a particular function, etc. Concerns, survival, profitability, growth, sustainability, social responsibilities, governance, values, ethics, etc. Talking about the mode, traditional mode, physical, brick and mortar model, in store, digital and online mode. At last, underlying disciplines, economics, law, philosophy, psychology, and sociology, all are included in BCK domain. Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. The next is domains of business and commercial knowledge. Domains of business and commercial knowledge. Oxford Online Dictionary defines the term domain as a specified sphere of knowledge. The sphere of knowledge about business and commerce is vast. Eclectic and ever evolving and expanding. BCK is vast. Business and commercial knowledge is vast. The universities of business is vast. Take, for example, the range of business activities. The universe of business is vast. Take, for example, the range of business activities. It includes manufacturing activities, trading activities, and services, that is, intangible products. Just contemplate on any of the activities, countless instances would come to mind. Take domestic trade and within in retail trade. Now, door to door direct sellers, street vendors, weekly hats and bazaars, neighborhood shops, marketplaces, shopping malls, company chain stores, online retail, e-tail, etc. all comprise retail trade. Thus, to know about retail trade, one need to be aware of its various forms. Further, no need to know the functions that the retailers perform. For example, the neighborhood retailers provide For example, a neighborhood retailer provides variety of goods of daily needs, various brands of the same item in smaller quantities, and a host of other services such as home delivery, weekly, monthly credits. Malls provide a very different kind of shopping experience, and the online retailing provide 24/7 convenience to you. Note, we have just enumerated some of the benefits from the point of view of the consumers or customers. What about their services to the wholesalers and as an intermediary in the chain of distribution from the producer to the consumer? So basically, it simply means that The retailer provides a lot of services to the consumers, but a retailer also provides a lot of services to the producer or to the wholesaler. Like on behalf of the wholesaler, the retailer do advertising, the retailer do marketing, retailer do window dressing, window dressing, retailer performs marketing and advertising. Retailer creates goodwill. Retailer gives feedback to the wholesaler or producer. Retailer gives feedback to wholesaler or or manufacturer. Retailer gives information about the market, about the market to the producer, to the manufacturer, to the manufacturer. Apart from this, retailer performs so many other functions also. Let us continue. BCK is eclectic, that is, BCK is multidisciplinary. BCK is eclectic, that is, it derives from various disciplines. Example: marketing, accounting, finance, operating, human behavior, psychology, sociology, laws, economics, ethics. Each discipline has a vocabulary of its own and thus contributes towards BCK vocabulary. So, business and commercial knowledge vocabulary is developed on the basis of so many multidisciplinary subjects. Like we have marketing, accounting, finance, operations, human behavior, sociology, psychology, economics, laws, ethics, and other disciplines also. Further, the BCK adapts the vocabulary of such diverse L's as military and such unrelated else as biology, building the BCK vocabulary. Let us see BCK vocabulary, and that is strategy. Original discipline is military. Description: just as the armies at war develop strategies to outsmart each other, likewise, business draws their strategies to beat their competitors. I repeat, business draws strategy to beat their competitors. Business makes strategy to market their products. Business makes strategy to make the product more successful. So, strategy is required at various parts of the business and at various levels of the business. The next is logistics. Logistics. Original discipline is military. In military, logistics means movement of troops. I repeat, movement of troops. You must have seen this. Military supplies and equipments. In business, it implies the detailed coordination of a complex operation involving many people, facilities, or supplies. Typically, inbound logistics imply the movement of inputs, and the outbound logistics means the movement of outputs. Whenever what happens, we purchase any goods, whenever we purchase of goods, the goods are coming into the company, and whenever maybe we are purchasing the raw material for the production of further goods and services, so the raw material is entering the factory, and when the finished goods is getting ready into the factory, after that that finished goods need to be supplied in the market, needs to be distributed using the different various distribution channels, and that is a part of logistics. See what happens, my dear students. There is a difference between the time of production and the time of consumption. Also, there is a time lag between the place of the production and the place of consumption. For example, for example, Samsung plant, Samsung plant or iPhone plant is there near Delhi, Gurugram. In Gurugram city nearby, the iPhone plant or Samsung plant is there, but iPhone and Samsung phone is used all over the world, or just suppose it is used all over India. So production or manufacturing is happening in Haryana, but the phones are supplied to whole India, and the phones are also used in Kerala. The phones are also used in Tamil Nadu. It is also used in Gujarat, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and everywhere in India. I believe you understood. So that's about logistics, supplies. The third element is bulls. The third element is bulls. Means the original discipline came from biology, that is the animal psychology. Biology, that is the animal psychology. Because bulls threw up their enemies in combat. Likewise, bulls imply the stock market players who raise the stock prices through building a buy pressure. Being bullish implies optimistic about the future, or optimistic expectation that the economy, that the market, that the business is likely to do well in future. So basically, this bull terminology is used in the stock market. This bull terminology is used in the stock market. Bullish market means the market is going to rise. Bullish market means bullish market means the market is up. The market is up. Market is up. I believe you understood. Market is doing well or likely to do well. Bullish market. The prices are rising. I believe it is clear. The next is opposite, and that is bears. Bears. The original discipline of bears is biology, that is animal psychology. Animal psychology. Bears have the tendency to embrace and push towards their enemies in a combat, push downwards. Thus, bears are the stock market players that have pessimistic expectations. So they feel that the market is going to go down. Bears think, bears think market market will be down. Bears think market will be down. Next, BCK is ever evolving and expanding. BCK domain are ever evolving and expanding. For example, information and communication technology has introduced several terms in the lexicon of BCK. Example, 24/7. 24/7, that means all the time in a day. B2B, business to business. B2B, business to business. B2C, business to customer. B2C, business to customers. Business to customers. BPO, business process outsourcing. BPO, business process, business process outsourcing. Business process outsourcing. Chips, etc. An important aspect of this evolution is the decline and demise of old businesses and old ways of doing businesses, and the emergence of new businesses and newer ways of doing the businesses. These changes may be aided or impeded by changes in technology, society, economy, and the like, collectively referred as business environment. There are so many participants of business environment in the fast evolving and expanding sphere of knowledge. The rate of knowledge obsolescence, that is outdatedness, is very high. What is relevant today must not be relevant tomorrow. So thus we need to stay updated and develop the capability to learn unlearn and relearn at a fast pace. What I said, what is relevant today may not be relevant tomorrow. So we have to unlearn what we have already learned. We have to relearn the new setup, the new things, the new technology to use. I believe it is clear. B2B, let us discuss about B2B, that is business to business. My dear students, what happens is, just take an example of Maruti Udyog. Take an example of Maruti Udyog. Okay, so B2B, that is business to business. Maruti Udyog. Maruti Udyog, manufacturer of cars. Manufacturer of cars. Maruti Suzuki. The brand name is Maruti Suzuki. The brand name is Maruti Suzuki. What they do is, in their cars, Maruti Udyog or Maruti Suzuki is not the manufacturer of glass, shield, or they are not the manufacturer of tires. For tires, they need to be dependent upon MRF. MRF tires. What they do is, they purchase tire from MRF tires and they put it there into their cars. And they just install these tires into their cars. So the relationship between Maruti Udyog and the MRF tires is be in the category of B2B. This is an example of B2B, that is business to business. This is an example of business to business. I believe you understood. I believe you understood. The next is B2C. B2C, that is business to consumer. Maruti Udyog sells cars to the end user. the end user. These are customers. These are customers who buy cars from Maruti Udyog. These are the customers who buy cars from Maruti Udyog. So this relationship between Maruti Udyog and the customer is known as B2C, business to customer, business to customer. I believe you understood this. I believe you understood. So this was about B2B, B2C. Let us try and understand what is BPO. What is BPO? Business process outsourcing. Business process outsourcing. That is BPO. Generally, what happens? The after sale services, when the product is sold to the end user. So this is a manufacturer. This is a manufacturer. This is a customer. And this is a agent in between. So this is the manufacturer sold the product to customer. Now there is a BPO agent. BPO is business process outsourcing. It's their responsibility to do to solve the issues which is happening to the consumer. So the call centers are generally run under the BPO model, under this model. So whenever a consumer, a customer make a call, the call is attended by the call center. So this manufacturer has given the contract to this call center to solve the queries of the customer, and this is business process outsourcing. I believe you understood. Let us make a note of all these three concepts. Right. B2B. B2B. Business to business. Business to business is a form of transaction, is a form of transactions, is a form of transaction between between businesses, between businesses. Such as such as such as one one involving a manufacturer, one involving a manufacturer and and wholesaler and wholesaler or a wholesaler or a wholesaler and a retailer and a retailer. Business to business, business to business refers to business business that is conducted that is conducted between companies conducted between companies rather than conducted between companies rather than between a company rather than between a company and individual consumer and individual consumer individual consumer business business to business stands in contrast to business to consumer and business to government and business to government transactions. I believe you understood this. I believe you understood this. So this was about business to business. The next is business to consumer. The next is business to consumer. Let us try and understand this. B to C. B to C. The term business to consumer, the term business to consumer refers to the term business to consumer refers to the process refers to the process of selling products, that is goods and services directly between a business and consumers who are the end users of its products of its products or services. Most companies most companies most companies that sell directly to consumers can be referred as B2C companies. B2C companies that could be referred as B2C companies. B2C became popular during the dot-com boom of the late 1990s. We have learnt about dot-com booms when we were doing the first part, that was business economics, when it was mainly used to refer to online retailers used to refer to online retailers who sold products and services to consumers through the internet. I believe you understood this. However, companies like Amazon, eBay, and Priceline have thrived, ultimately becoming the industry disruptors. 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 Let us learn the third concept, and that is BPO. That is BPO. Business process outsourcing. Business process outsourcing. Business process outsourcing is a method of is a method of subcontracting subcontracting various business business related operations to third party vendors to third party vendors, although BPO BPO originally applied BPO originally applied solely to BPO originally applied solely to manufacturing 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 entities such as soft drinks soft drinks manufacturer soft drink manufacturer that outsourced large segment that outsourced large segments of their supply chains. BPO now applies to the outsourcing BPO now apply to the outsourcing of services as well. Outsourcing of services as well. Let us continue. Many businesses from small startups from small startups to small startups to large companies to large companies opt to outsource opt to outsource processes opt to outsource processes as new and and innovative innovative services and increasingly and increasingly available increasingly available in in today's ever changing highly competitive highly competitive business climate. Companies companies adopt BPO practices company adopt BPO practices in the two main areas, that is back office that is back office and front office and front office operations front office operations. Back office BPO refers to a company contracting contracting its core business core business operations such as accounting accounting payment processing payment processing IT services IT services human resource regulatory compliance regulatory compliance and and quality assurance and quality assurance to outside professionals to outside professionals who ensure the business runs smoothly who ensures the business runs smoothly. I believe BPO is clear. I believe it is clear. The next is KPO. The next is KPO, that is Knowledge Process Outsourcing. KPO, that is Knowledge Process Outsourcing. Let's learn about knowledge process outsourcing. Knowledge knowledge process outsourcing. Knowledge process outsourcing is the outsourcing of core information related business activities. Generally, KPO involves contracting contracting out work to to individuals that typically that typically have advanced degrees and expertise in a specialized area. Understood? The information related work can be carried can be out by workers in a different company or by a or by a subsidiary by a subsidiary subsidiary of the same organization of the same organization. The subsidiary may be in the same country. The subsidiary may be in the same country or in an offshore location to save cost or other resources resources. Next point, knowledge process outsourcing. Knowledge process outsourcing is the Knowledge process outsourcing purpose is the purposeful allocation of relatively relatively high level tasks involving involving specialized knowledge involving specialized knowledge or or problem solving or problem solving to an outside organization to an outside organization or third party or third party that has that has a high level of that has a high level of subject matter expertise high level of subject matter expertise often located often located in a different often located in a different different geographic region different geographic region that that the company that the company itself that the company itself we can say that we can say that KPO is different from KPO is different from BPO, that is business process outsourcing, which involves which involves the the outsourcing of labor labor and other professional other other operational operational work to a third party to a third party. KPO generally handles professional work and BPO handles operational work to save money to save money. Although KPO KPO is a subset of business process outsourcing. KPO involves KPO involves far more specialized KPO involves far more specialized analytical and and analytical and knowledge based work and knowledge based work. I believe you understood. I believe you understood this. Companies companies that engage companies that engage in knowledge process outsourcing look to obtain highly educated and skilled individuals, skilled individuals, highly educated and skilled individuals without 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 having the cost of without having the cost of training training and developing and developing those workers developing those workers through KPO through KPO a company can quickly through KPO a company can quickly add expertise quickly add expertise in specific fields in specific fields to boost competitiveness and increase their earnings and increase their earnings and increase their earnings. Types of KPO services. Types of KPO services. Financial consultants, financial consultants, financial consultants, research and development, research and development, that is R&D, business operation, business operations, that is management consulting, that is management consulting, that is management consulting, technical technical analysis, technical analysis, investments, legal, medical and healthcare, medical and healthcare, data analysis and interpretation, data analysis and data interpretation, etc. The next term that we are going to learn today is outsourcing. Is outsourcing. Outsourcing is a business practice. It is a business practice of hiring a party, hiring a party outside a company, outside outside a company to perform services, to perform services and and create goods, create goods that traditionally create goods that traditionally were performed in-house, in-house. In-house by the company's own employees. By the company's own employees and staff. Outsourcing. Outsourcing is a practice. Outsourcing is a practice usually. Outsourcing is a practice usually undertaken by undertaken by companies as a cost cutting method as a cost cutting method or cost cutting measure cost cutting method or measure. As such, it can it can affect a wide range of jobs, wide range of jobs ranging from ranging from customer support ranging from customer support to manufacturing to manufacturing to the back office to the back office to the back office. Companies use outsourcing. Companies use outsourcing to cut labor cost to cut labor cost including salaries salaries for its personnel for its personnel overhead equipment and technology equipment and technology. Outsourcing is also used by outsourcing is also companies companies to dial down and focus on the the core aspects of the business the core aspects of the business spinning off spinning off the less critical spinning off the less critical operations to outside organizations to outside organizations. On the downside, on the downside, communication communication between the company communication between the company and outside providers and outside providers and outside providers can be hard, and security threats and security threats can increase when when multiple parties multiple parties can access multiple parties can access sensitive data can access sensitive data. I believe it is clear. I believe it is clear. So this was outsourcing. The next is offshoring. The next is offshoring. What is offshoring? Offshoring. Offshoring is the practice of is the practice of outsourcing is the practice of outsourcing operations overseas operations overseas usually usually by companies usually by companies usually by companies from industrialized industrialized countries to less developed countries with the intention of intention of reducing reducing the cost of doing business cost of doing business. I believe you understood. So basically offshoring is nothing but a practice of outsourcing operations but overseas to some another country, foreign country. Chief among the reasons specific reasons chief among the specific reasons for for locating operations for outside a outside a outside a corporation outside a corporation's home country are are lower labor cost are lower labor cost more lenient more lenient environmental environmental regulations environmental regulations, less stringent, less stringent labor regulations, favorable tax conditions, favorable tax conditions and proximity of proximity of raw materials, proximity of raw materials. The offshoring, the offshoring the offshoring of jobs and infrastructure and the offshoring of jobs and infrastructure became a significant became a significant factor in in global economic development global economic development global economic development in the mid 20th century in the mid 20th century companies companies initially companies initially focused focused their outsourcing efforts outsourcing efforts outsourcing efforts on on low low skilled or unskilled low skilled or unskilled manufacturing unskilled manufacturing jobs and simple simple assembly tasks simple assembly tasks. A major factor a major factor driving IT offshoring driving IT offshoring has been has been the vast has been the vast disparity in both in both salaries salaries and cost of living cost of living between between US technology US technology workers US technology workers and and their their counterparts counterparts in counterparts in less developed in less developed countries. Although offshoring offshoring has produced offshoring has produced economic benefits offshoring has produced economic benefits. It has it has also created it has also created some problems some problems. For example, for example, work performed for example, work performed in work performed in remote locations work performed in remote locations may fail to meet the quality standards expected by a parent company a parent company. I believe you understood. A parent company a parent company. exploitation exploitation of workers exploitation of workers may occur and lower environmental standard lower standard environmental standard, especially especially lower environmental standards especially in developing countries developing countries may damage the local environment. This is the problem with offshoring, or pose health threats pose health threats. One of one of the criticism of offshoring offshoring originates originates from workers originates from workers in in developing countries in developing countries who claim who claim that who claim that the number of who claim that the number of jobs available The number of jobs available to them has been has been reduced by has been reduced by the practice of the practice of higher, cheaper, hiring cheaper labor in other countries in other countries. Outsourcing and offshoring. I believe you understood the both in detail. The next is reshoring. The next concept is reshoring. The next concept is reshoring. 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 Reshoring reshoring is the process of reshoring is the returning process of returning the production and manufacturing of goods and manufacturing of goods back to the company back to the company's original country original country. Reshoring reshoring is also known as onshoring. Reshoring is also known as onshoring or inshoring or backshoring or backshoring. Reshoring is the opposite of opposite of offshoring opposite of offshoring, which is the process of which is the process of manufacturing which is the process of manufacturing goods overseas overseas to try to reduce try to reduce the cost of labor reduce the cost of labor and manufacturing and manufacturing. Reshoring reshoring can help reshoring can help strengthen an economy strengthen an economy by creating by creating manufacturing by creating manufacturing jobs, reducing unemployment, reducing unemployment and and balancing trade deficits, trade deficits, reshoring, reshoring does not does not always does not always have positive results where where a company where a company underestimates where a company underestimates the cost and the logistical the logistical planning planning logistical planning involved. Some products some products are best left offshore. Some products are best left offshore, particularly those those native to native to native to other countries, native to other countries. Reshoring reshoring does not always does not always have positive results, does not always has positive results for the companies for the companies companies involved. However however, if the efforts is poorly managed poorly managed or or if the circumstances are not not conductive to a smooth transition, reshoring reshoring efforts can fail. Reshoring efforts can fail. Often a company often a company underestimates underestimates the cost underestimates the cost and logistical planning logistical planning involved. involved. To avoid failure, to avoid failure, companies companies often call in consultants that specialize in reshoring specialize in reshoring. While reshoring while reshoring is a way to stimulate is a way to stimulate the the domestic economy. It is important it is important it is important for companies to remember it is important for companies to that remember that some products are best left offshore, particularly particularly those those native to other countries, those native to other countries. For example, for example, products, for example, products, products grown, grown locally in China, in China products grown locally in China should be manufactured should be manufactured there manufactured there so so that so that they remain they remain close to the source they remain close to the source they remain close to the source. Examples of reshoring. Examples of reshoring. Examples of reshoring. For decades, for decades, many US companies, many US companies engaged in offshoring, often often sending often sending their manufacturing plants offer sending their manufacturing plants to China, Malaysia, Malaysia, Vietnam, and other countries and other countries with a with a lower cost of with a lower cost of labor with a lower cost of labor. However, 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 after the Great Recession, after the Great Recession of 2008, of 2008, these companies, these companies found, these companies found alternative, these companies found alternative ways to cut cost, to cut cost by reshoring, to cut cost by reshoring and returning their business, returning their business to the US, to the US to create jobs, create jobs, to create jobs for unemployed, unemployed Americans, unemployed Americans. Since the Great Recession of 2008, since the Great Recession, reshoring, reshoring has become a political, has become a political priority, has become a political priority. To combat the recession, to combat the recession, America introduced America introduced a number of measures to promote reshoring, to promote reshoring, to stimulate the economy, to stimulate the economy. I believe you have understood. I believe you have understood. Let us see what we have learnt in today's class. Let us quickly see what we have learnt in today's class. We began with the chapter overview. We've seen the whole overview of the chapter in detail. The channel of distribution, we have learnt about the channel of distribution. We have done this exercise of this room. The observation card, we have followed this. We have taken notings on the basis of this. We have learnt about micro, small, medium enterprise and the different illustrative list, the different domains of BCK, the domains of BCK. BCK is very vast: wholesaler, manufacturer, retailer, consumer. BCK is multidisciplinary. We have learnt about that. The original discipline from which the words like strategy, logistics, bulls and bears have evolved. BCK is ever evolving and expanding, in which we have learnt about B2B, B2C, BPO, KPO, offshoring, reshoring. We have learned the example of Maruti Udyog. We have learned the example of BPO. We have done the detailed noting of B2B, B2C, BPO, business process outsourcing, knowledge process outsourcing, KPO, which is related to BPO. We have also learned the types of KPO, outsourcing, then we have learned offshoring, and at last we have learnt in today's class what is meant by the term reshoring and the detailed explanation of reshoring and why it is so important in BCK, or why reshoring is important for any nation. What are the examples of BCK? What is the examples of reshoring, and what are the benefits of reshoring to an economy? I believe you have understood. I believe you have understood. So we are stopping here. We are stopping here. We'll be continuing with the new concepts in the next chapter. We'll be continuing this chapter in the next class. We'll be looking to the new concepts. So finally we are completing till here, that is reshoring. We'll continue from here in the next class. Thank you. Thank you.